Hey guys, welcome back to Fallout 4. Last episode we just explored Virgil's lab back in there. What's going on here? Entry terminal. Alright. Do I need this to get out? Deactivate laser grid. FEV laboratory is a potential biohazard area and has been sealed. Access to the section of the facility is prohibited. Request for more information can be sent in triplicate to our records department. Alright. Well, I've got access now. Alright, so now we're inside the weird plant area we saw before. Hey everybody. Just here to meet the folks and then maybe betray you and stuff. You know, like a good friend.
Dr. Holdren's synth gorilla project is showing promising results.
Why? Why are you making synth gorillas that itch themselves? Why did you make a robot that's artificial and then give it the ability to feel itchy? Are you literally Satan? Itching sounds come from this department. This chamber makes itching sounds sometimes when they're not even itching. What? Why is it like? Is it like the effect of yawning? Like, are you like simulating the sound of yawning so that they want to itch constantly even when they don't need to? What is wrong with you people? These people are truly evil. Need to be brought to justice.
It's great to have you here.
I'm sure it is.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Welcome. So good to have you here. Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Division. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing.
Like what?
I was just about to explain that. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of study such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
I'm glad that you guys are so into saving the future that you're just kind of fucking around and doing whatever project you feel like as a hobby, basically.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything more exciting than fake gorillas.
Speaking only for myself, I find them fascinating. Of course, I might be a little biased. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is. But I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us?
I'm an outsider. Would there even be a place for me here?
Even if science isn't your passion, there are plenty of ways to contribute. Our projects sometimes require an agent who can work on the surface to observe and gather information. From what I've heard, you are both fearless and resourceful. I think you'd be ideal for that kind of role. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Tell me more about those synth gorillas.
On the whole, I'd say they were a success. Their behavior does generally match what our historical data says it should be. Unfortunately, we had a few early setbacks. The creatures can become suddenly aggressive, and they're quite strong. They destroyed 2 of their synth handlers. So now we keep them in an isolated habitat where they can be safely observed.
Cool, you're just sacrificing synths to them.
Most men lack the patience to observe and document plant growth.
I'm sure that you have a great sense of superiority for yourself.
Hey, Doc.
Yes, I'm sure that whatever you have to say is very interesting, but now simply isn't a good time.
Someone's a little full of himself.
Hardly. There is no place for ego in science. I'm simply trying to tell you in as polite a manner as possible that I am busy. Now, goodbye.
Dr. Carlin's doing some amazing things with our genetically engineered crops.
I don't think someone's a little full of themselves actually qualifies as sarcasm. I think that's just literal, which is the opposite of how sarcasm generally works. Oh well. Let's go ahead and use this terminal and load a holotape. Wait, where was it? Let's see. Quick save in case they notice me. I don't know if they'll actually be able to pick up on what's going on. Close security door, that's fine. Oh, you cannot load holotapes here. Need a new terminal. Can I play with these at all? There's the gorilla enclosure. a normal, sane thing to have.
A child
Think too
synth.
much about it.
It's just
We have
remarkable.
more than enough to occupy ourselves here.
You're surprised by the child synth thing still? Seems like that's been around for a while.
It's best not to dwell.
Like, wasn't the mercenary guy that I got the brain into the brains of, wasn't he running around with a child synth of my own son? Because the timeline doesn't work for him to have for people to remember him going around with a child if it was actually my son. So that had to be a synth too, and so they've been around for years.
Dr. Watson doesn't think I'm institute material. I'm gonna prove him wrong. Rosalind is as smart as she is beautiful. I just wish I could get her to notice me.
Holy shit, they are weirdly open to me. I have never met these people before, and they're just like telling me about all their little gossip and weird relations they have with various people and opening their hearts to me. Alright. Behavioral anomaly report. I don't know how I couldn't say that. Director Holdren, here are the details you requested in response to the gorilla behavioral anomalies. A total of 16 incidents of heightened aggression have been documented. Bioscience personnel who witnessed these events, myself included, would categorize the level of aggression displayed as extreme and dangerous. All in all, 6 synth handlers have been destroyed by gorilla attacks. As for what triggers these behavioral changes, I speculate it's a reaction to perceived conflict. Several attacks followed heated arguments that took place within earshot of the pen. Another occurred soon after the recent SRB security sweep. It seems clear that there's a fault in the behavioral model. I doubt it can be corrected. I know you're against it, but I think we have to consider destroying them. Failing that, I recommend that all contact with the gorillas be limited to synths units only. Bioscience personnel should not be permitted to come in contact. The risk is simply too great. Too great. Warwick Homestead. Haven't I been there before? Mission statement. The Warwick Homestead Initiative was conceived to facilitate field testing of various genetically modified specimens in the unique climate of the Commonwealth. It is hoped that we gain an insight into the effects of trace radiation on the growth and development of said specimens. We of the Bioscience Division are in full agreement of the following hypothesis. Subjected to proper levels of ambient radiation and soil pH, such as those found in the exceptionally fertile soil at Warwick Homestead, our modified seed specimens are likely to exhibit accelerated growth rate and 2-fold increase in size. Implementation. Stage 1, using genetic manipulation, we will develop a unique breed of... Wow. That word. Cucurbitaceae? Alright. With similar characteristics to those commonly farmed in the Commonwealth. Stage 2. Acquire Roger Warwick, Patriarch of Warwick Homestead, and conduct a series of intensive interrogation sessions to learn all we can about his life and family. Stage 3. With the intelligence gathered at Stage 2, create a synth replica of Roger Warwick, and embed the unit on site at Warwick Homestead to oversee the operation directly. SRB will handle logistics of this aspect of the initiative. Stage 4. Begin convert deliveries of prototype seed batches for planning. 5. Collect observational data and embed from embedded unit. Stage 6. When sufficient data has been collected, retrieve synth unit and specimens for lab study. Purge all surface evidence of the initiative. Wow. So with Warwick Homestead, they kidnapped the father in the family and replaced him with a synth after interrogating him, probably killing him. These people are just evil. Like, they're just evil. There's nothing okay about this. SCI Phase 2 Development. Synth Zoological Initiative Phase 2 Development Journal. Initial thoughts. What to create? We've engineered creatures that inhabit the sky and the land. The next logical step is a creature of the sea. The greatest challenge remains data collection. Accurate measurements, behavioral data, life cycle, habitat, etc. Might the hunt have something useful? Note to self. Request that we allocate a scavenger team to that area. So which aquatic creature makes a good candidate? Start with size. Nothing too large, nothing too small. A lot of typos in this computer so far. Most promising candidates: genus Delphinus, genus Caharnus. On-site habitat will be a logistical challenge. Expansion of bioscience likely necessary, including a large water tank. Many logistical challenges to implement. Facilities division likely to oppose this. Have to pitch this to the first step in a broader plan. What else can go into the aquatic habitat? Can we grow food there? What other experiments can we do? Could we develop underwater synth models to carry out seabed salvage operations? Probably far-fetched, but we need to work on this one. We'll table this journal for the time being, focus on other priorities until I can come up with more reasons that will benefit from the aquatic habitat. Can still gather data in the meantime. Yeah, these characters are kind of evil, basically. Let's see here. Courser data chip, Augusta report. Do I? Oh wait, never mind. We can scroll more. I didn't know to scroll at first. I'm like, none of these look like the thing I need. Uh-oh. Network scanner. Transmitting key. Initiate network scan. There we go. These people just casually do experiments for fun and create creatures because they can, and ruin lives and families, you know, because why not, basically. What the fuck? Message from Tom. The Big D demanded a tutorial be included, so here it is. Short version, plug this into any institute terminal and copy the message. Long version. Patriot's been sending us short-coded messages for years using an evil little encryption scheme. It was a bitch and a half to reverse engineer. Patriot's got skill, but I nailed it. Put this holotape into any institute terminal and it'll deliver a gift-wrapped message straight to Patriot. You're going into the belly of the beast, friend? Don't trust anything. TT out. Copy encrypted message. Alright. Read Patriot's reply. Copy complete. Read urgent reply 001. Acknowledge. Meet me at the advanced systems maintenance room. Alright. Did I grab the holotape? Oopsie. This says load holotape. Do I currently have it in my hand then? You can now fast travel to and from the Institute. Okay. So I can go talk to Father, or I can meet with Patriot. Let's focus on Patriot for now. I don't really trust Father, even if they are family. He probably doesn't want to hurt me, but he works for an evil company, or an evil organization, basically, that casually ruins people's lives for the sake of, I don't know, learning how things tick, and just kind of amusing themselves, judging by the gorillas and the sea creatures they're talking about. They're like, well, let's do this now. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's see, was there anything over here? Don't think I've checked here yet. Hello. Another weird old-looking area. Knowing what we've seen so far, it seems like this place would somehow be related to the whenever I see a dirty place at this point, I just assume it's related to synths because they don't seem to give them good quarters in general. Alright, let's head it forward. Yeah! Get the hell out of here. These people are just the worst. So it's not enough for them to ruin people's lives and create what are basically life forms in the forms of synths, like they're conscious and everything, and just casually kidnap them and throw them around and wipe their memories, or not. Sorry, the wiping memory thing is something they do themselves actually, but just terrorize people and kidnap people and ruin people's lives. And then like, well, we made gorillas. That was worth it. Fuck these guys. Also, I totally called that this was Patriot. He just apparently just stands in this really suspicious location all the time. You think they would have scripted it so that he'd come over here after I talked to him online, but he's just kind of already here.
Hey, it's me. So you're the one who sent the encrypted message. How did you even do that? I wasn't sure anyone on the surface would have a chance to crack Trinity. You know, the encryption algorithm.
Trinity? What's that?
Trinity is an encryption system with a cipher, or key cut up into many pieces. You need several pieces in the correct order to unlock it. I put a Trinity piece with every synth I helped escape. It was a long shot, but I was hoping some good Samaritan would connect it all together.
A friend named Tinker Tom cracked your encryption.
He must have had some serious hardware to pull that off. Wow. Your message was only one word. Friend. What did you mean by that?
What do you think?
At the very least, I'm hoping it means you won't turn me in. But you really are a friend, aren't you?
The Railroad's in the business of helping synths too. That makes us friends.
What? The Railroad? As in the Railroad? I kept sending synths to the surface hoping someone would help them. I hoped the Railroad got to some of them, but I never knew for certain.
How did you help synths escape?
Through hacking. The departments focus their best talents on hard science. Why waste time on terminal security, right? The SRB is the exception, and unfortunately, they control which synths go to the surface. But a forged work order from, let's say, bioscience can get a hand-picked synth on surface detail. And it turns out the Railroad was waiting for them. Wow.
You saved a lot of synths.
So much to take in. But wait, with you in the picture, I have this idea. To rescue a lot of synths. At once. But we'll need help. Where's he working now? Right. Let's go to the West Atrium. Probably best to talk about something else right now.
Alright, what do you want to talk about?
You know my father thinks it's a living hell on the surface. But that can't be right. Heck, you look positively normal to me. No offense. I'm not sure if we could ever make the surface actually a decent place to live. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't at least try to help, you know?
It's funny, I think I've managed to go this far into the game without ever learning what the, how to walk. I just go at the standard speed, and then of course the character is going slower than that. Sort of an in-between speed.
Good. He's here. C-114. It's me.
Sir, do you require something?
It's okay, Z1. He's a friend. He's with the Railroad.
Meeting here is dangerous. And you bring a stranger. You. How do I know we can trust you?
Because the members of the Railroad have dedicated their lives to fight for your freedom.
I thought only Mr. Binet cared. But your friends actually fight for us?
That's what the Railroad does, Z1. He's from the surface.
I've never met another human willing to help. But, sir, we must make this quick.
Right now, how many synths want to escape, Z1?
The ones I know for certain? 13.
That'll take forever. Let's free those 13 all in one go.
I would do anything for my people. But how do we get them to the teleporter? It's no good. The old maintenance tunnels that lead there are always sealed. By the SRB.
If I can find a way to open those doors, could you get your synths to the teleporter room?
Yes. We'll talk later. Someplace more secure.
Just a few high-security doors, right? Controlled by cutting-edge SRB security tech. Yeah. A head-on hack is the sucker play. So we go at them sideways. You're willing to help, right? I can't do this alone.
What do you need help with?
Our core security architecture hasn't fundamentally changed from the old CIT days. The original security program was called Code Defender. Revolutionary stuff. We still have terminals running version 1, mothballed in storage. With some persuasion, I can get an old terminal to interface with the new security terminals. Enough to open doors, at least. Problem is, I can't even crack version 1. So I need a good old-fashioned username and a password. And that's nowhere to be found in the Institute. But if you could get me a pre-war admin password from the surface, I could log right in.
Where would I find that?
Unfortunately, I don't know. The obvious place won't work. The CIT ruins were picked clean years ago, but some of the admins had to live off campus. Ask your friends in the Railroad. I need those login credentials.
Alright, so we're actually leaving already. I kind of assumed that we'd do one big staged breakout while we're still here. I think next I'm gonna go talk to Father. Just because I might as well. I assume that I can at least talk to him without straight up initiating the quest, because it would be nice to just have another conversation with that character before we do anything else. He is the main character's son, after all. As weird of a turn as that took.
My daddy says your father's daddy, but he looks so much older than you.
Here you are.
Now that you've had a chance to see the Institute firsthand, what do you think?
I've seen my share of think tank science labs.
Oh, I assure you, none of them were quite like this place. Ultimately, all our knowledge and resources are focused on a single goal. The goal is best summarized by our motto: mankind, redefined. Unfortunately, no advancement comes without occasional setbacks. As remarkable as our synths are, they can be dangerous without proper supervision. The superior synth mind and body attempting to wrestle with something approaching free will can be a recipe for chaos.
If the synths are intelligent and self-aware, then they have a right to free will.
However closely they may approximate human behavior, they are still our creations. When you see what I have to show you, I think you'll agree that we know what is best for our synths. A rogue synth has taken over the Raider gang at Libertalia. His memories have been erased, and his identity altered. He believes he's a man named Gabriel. Under his leadership, the Raiders have taken many innocent lives. I've dispatched a courser to Libertalia. I'd like you to join him and reclaim that synth.
Who erased his memories? And why?
Those idealistic radicals who call themselves the Railroad are behind it. We'll deal with them in time. But right now, the priority is to reclaim that synth before more harm is done. Now you should get moving. Many people are in danger, and a delay could cost lives.
Really? They're the maniacs. When you kidnap people from their families and replace them with robots so that you can do experiments. Sure. Sounds legit. Alright, let's go visit the railroad. No one will ever notice. I love that these are mortal enemies. These two are mortal enemies, and the Pridwin is also not really getting along great with these characters, and I could just switch between them casually. Hey, Piper. Sorry. When I brought you along, I kind of thought you'd get to come with me on that whole thing.
Hey, it's Charmer. Charmer's back.
He remembers me.
Hi. Pam wants to talk with you. She's in back.
Well, I want to talk to Desmonda, or however you pronounce that name.
Everyone's all, you've been hitting the chems way too hard. But I got my eyes open.
Oh, thank God.
Woo! See, Jazz, I told you the molecular stabilization matrix held.
Funny, you didn't sound certain yesterday. It is really, really good to see you. Did it work? Did you make it inside the Institute?
You thought I died?
I saw you disintegrate right before my eyes. Then the whole machine blew up. Tom insisted you dematerialized in time. But Tom's track record with experiments leaves something to be desired. I've never been happier to tell Tom I was wrong. It did work, right?
I met with the leader of the Institute. And it turns out, he's my son.
What? Wasn't he just a little boy?
After they took him from me, they froze me in cryo.
Instead of being on ice for a few years, it's a few decades instead. The Institute's really done a number on you. Besides meeting your boy, did you meet Patriot too? Did Tom's holotape work?
I met Patriot. His name is Liam Binet.
I knew you'd get the job done. We need every scrap of intel you picked up in there. Write up a full report on Pam's terminal. After you're done, we'll analyze it and figure out the next step. Get to it.
Alright, Pam? Don't you say a fucking... Oh, that's not you, never mind. I was just gonna turn to the doctor and be like, don't you say a fucking word, god damn it. So sick of hearing about how busy you are. Enter Institute report. Though it wasn't a certainty, thankfully the signal interface worked. When I materialized, I found myself in an empty room. Z114 can get to the 13 synths in place, but in order for them to make it to the teleporter, Patriot needs the username and password for V1 of CIT's Code Defender. End of report. Preliminary analysis of data commencing. Analysis complete. Booting HM interface. Please consult with Pam immediately, Agent. Thank you.
What's that for?
Oh. Just creepily standing behind me, huh? That's not off-putting at all. Also, is that the first time... Is that the first time that the protagonist in a Fallout game's actually typed something out and we could read it like he said something on his own without us? That's interesting.
Pam.
Preliminary analysis complete.
Anything we need to move on?
Affirmative. Codename Patriot requires admin credentials for Code Defender security software. Cross-indexing CIT security administrators with 2077 Commonwealth Census records. Filtering by surviving structures. One match found. Bergman. Wilfred. Bergman. Wilfred. Registered as co-owner of Cambridge Polymer Labs. Estimated 81% chance of login credentials being located at this facility.
What's at Cambridge Polymer?
Cambridge Polymer Labs, LLC, had several active military contracts, specializing in robotics. The region is currently classified as extremely dangerous.
After you get the password report back here. With any luck, we'll have a game plan by then.
Alright, get the password for Code Defender. Straightforward enough. Gonna have to get busy. So, we've infiltrated the Institute. We found the person that's been letting the synths out this whole time. We've found that our son is fully dedicated to that whole awful cause in general. Really, some Father of the Year stuff going on here in some ways. This family's firmly ruined. At this point, I think I'm pretty much ready to just let, have I been there before? No. They just added the marker for me in the meantime. Oh, there's the Institute right there. CIT ruins. Alright. There we go. Took a few clicks for some reason. At this point, this stopped being a rescue mission for my son because he is a full-grown person that has had an entire life and is just not... Like, they're still my son, but I can't be responsible for their actions at this point. Like, this is so firmly out of my control. And I can't... Like, he was literally raised by other people that brainwashed him to do stuff like that. Like, if this was like a real thing, I would like if this was even like D&D where I can ask I can talk to the dungeon master and try to figure out solutions for stuff. I would probably try to convince my son about what's wrong, but I don't think this game's going to do that for me. In general, I've heard that people are really frustrated with the lack of options in this part of the game. Like, I think some people say they specifically joined the Institute for the purpose of trying to change it from the inside, because that's what they would do as a role player, but nope. If you join the Institute, I think you literally just join the Institute wholeheartedly and go wipe out their enemies and stuff. It's like, no. Jesus. But anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here. Straight ahead is where we're gonna find that password, and next episode we'll probably have a big synth revolt at the Institute, so that'll be fun. Piper, where'd you go? Piper? Well, she's dead. This was her last episode. See you guys next time.